And so let's explain what chaos intelligence is. That is randomness. It's a state of disorder that ultimately leads to order in universal law. So regarding the building of galaxies, the building of solar systems, the building of planets and species, you have this universal laws that, to be honest, depending on what universe you are in, believe it or not, it can be random. Okay, you can change these laws at will. For this particular dimension, Tahuti, he gives you the laws that we sent him down here to tell you guys about, which is the universe is mental, all is mental. There is a level beyond that, but we did not feel that you guys were ready for that yet. You guys damn near could barely understand the shit that Tahuti was talking about, and that was we sent him down here thousands and thousands of years ago. Y'all still struggling with that, and that's not coming at nobody, because there's been a lot of war on humanity and humanity's consciousness as to why that happened. So that's not entirely your fault, even though all the information is out there. You have literally been 24/7 under pure psyops and attacks on your consciousness and soul, as far as your attention span. So, we're not going to hold it too much against anybody. But the chaos intelligence is a degree of disorder or uncertainty in a system. Okay, so it's a degradation of matter and energy in the universe to an ultimate state of inert uniformity. Okay, and entropy is the general trend of the universe. It is toward disorder, and that's what chaos intelligence is. But again, this intelligence is extremely random, but it's order. It's a level of genius that you would never see. Okay, and so like all processes in the universe, the total energy is expended, okay, and is to bring the net system in thermal equilibrium, and so entropy continuously increases. So that is why entropy is an element of chaos intelligence. Okay, it is an element of it. It is this degree of uncertainty in a system, in the universe, the unknown, the great unknown. And then you have your melanin, you have your dark energy, and you have your consciousness, and the consciousness is what makes it intelligent. The consciousness is like a system, and I'm gonna make a chart on it. I'm gonna make a whole graph for you guys on this chaos intelligence stuff, because I've been seeing what it looks like in my mind, and so the consciousness is what orders it. The melanin is also this essence of high level self-awareness. But it does a lot more than that. It does a lot of conducting. It also regulates radiation. It regulates radiation in the universe, believe it or not. It also you guys know melanin shields your ability against radiation, even on planet Earth. And also because, we've always dealt with satellites and electromagnetism, electronics. So melanin also deals with shielding abilities against electronics and satellites. That's why, like, a lot of times, the universe will shut your satellites off like it's nothing. Like the chaos intelligence, the primordial mother, like they just released one of them articles. I think I put it up somewhere where they was talking about, the Earth satellites are being all shut off by an unknown force, and we don't know what force is doing it. It's the primordial mother. That is melanin. Melanin these are conductor intelligences, and you want to see it as an egregore, whatever. You want to see it as a transducer, a big ass transducer, a big ass supercomputer, whatever. You shut your shit off like it's nothing. Okay, and so that is why chaos intelligence ingredients includes melanin. We're shielding against certain types of radiation, monitoring radiation, and we are protecting against certain satellites and electronics and certain bullshit that gets sent in the universe way. Okay, and so that's why chaos intelligence has that as an ingredient. So the reason why we have dark energy in there is that's our creative ability. That is where we create and change states and of different types of matter, from physical states to different states, gas states, liquid states. And so dark energy is this raw potentiator. That is why we have that as a part of the chaos intelligence. And so I think I explained. Let me make sure. I just want to make sure I explain at least all of the ingredients. So entropy becomes important. Obviously, that is the most random one. That is the most disordered state. And you have melanin and dark energy and consciousness pretty much working together like as a primordial soup to give out the ordered state of the universe that you have. Your solar systems and your galaxies and your planets and your species, your various species, and but all of this stuff starts from a very specific process. And so that is why I'm saying that these are the ingredients within chaos intelligence, which is the personality of the primordial mother. And we know what the primordial mother is. This is a melanated cosmic womb. This is what we call a great mother, creator, God, Godhead, whatever you want to, you guys do whatever you want. The elements that make up chaos intelligence is consciousness, entropy, melanin, and dark energy. Okay, and you guys understand what melanin is. It regulates your radiation, regulates the electronics. It's a conductor. It has a level of self-awareness and sentience that's on its own. That's intuitive. Then you have consciousness. That is self-awareness, but it embodies a level of more. It's not as intuitive as the melanin, and the melanin can also create. How do I say? I don't even know if I should be giving this information out because I'm channeling right now. We can give it out. Yeah, the melanin is more like relates to the fusion power. It's nuclear in a sense, so it's a little bit different than consciousness. And I hope you guys understand it. You guys know that our army have been trying to take melanin and make fucking nuclear bombs. So if you guys can try to say, "Oh, she's crazy," she don't know what she's talking about. I can show you reports from the Department of Defense that they were really trying to study how to take melanin and make nuclear weapons with it, because you can. It's been proven that you can do that. And so that's why I separate consciousness from melanin. Then we have the dark energy. That is the negative pressure that fills the universe and stretches the fabric of space-time. And it does so. So it drives cosmic objects apart, increasingly rapid rate, rather than drawing them together as gravity does. And so this negative pressure is a certain amount of electrons, a certain amount of negative, or they call it negative energy. And as you know, the negative is always the divine feminine, and so they put it right there in front of you. And then we talked about your entropy. Now remember, that is the degree of disorder of uncertainty in the system, or the degradation of matter and energy in the universe to the ultimate state of inert uniformity. A lot of this information I'm going to be talking to you about is relegated to the big wigs that run the system, that are taking orders from archonic homunculus deities that have more power than them, but they're still not like the ancient ones. They're not like they don't have the power of like us. And so they still take their orders from them, but they also know this information, but they botched it so severely it's not even funny. So when we talk about chaos intelligence, we're talking about something completely different than when you hear these certain societies talk about order out of chaos, or they create order out of chaos. And what's annoying to me, is you guys know, it's no secret that, and people have told me, and then people have it's no secret. God, how do I say this? So, with my body of work and the information I've been putting out for the last 3 years, I pretty much, if I'm being honest, I pretty much put stuff out not knowing that this information was considered something that was supposed to be, esoteric, hidden, not for public consumption, stuff you needed to be initiated for. I just had no fucking idea. Okay, I just got on the internet and was channeling. I'm going to talk to you guys about why that happened and how that happened, because there's a specific reason of why that happened to me, of why I was writing the certain materials, I was writing the books, the things I was saying, but it got me to the point now where, they're trying to put me at like this 33 degrees of knowledge shit. It's like, they're trying to, you're this 33 degree level. And mind you, I'm not initiating into nothing. Not on this planet, not on this Earth realm. No. I don't have any oaths or pacts. Like my order from, we never believed in that shit. Like no oaths and no pacts and shit like that. That's not something you would do. You have ultimate freedom if you want to, leave or and speak about these things that I am talking about in regards to chaos intelligence, in regards to a lot of the teachings that I have. This information from my dimension, and we're going into more of the channel now, so bear with me. We're going more into the channeling. From my dimension, this is just not secret information. It just is what it is. And so, with me being in flesh, like, human flesh, the world sees, I won't say the world, but like these powers that be, quote unquote, the powers that be, quote unquote, they are trying to put me at this 33 degrees of knowledge. And it's like, who in the hell that's a black woman that really knows herself can only understand 33 degrees of knowledge? That would be offensive to a being like me. And so you do have 33 degree builders. They build in the material realm against the backdrop of the derma urge on their back. And so it's rough and it's not easy, and they're builders through their consciousness and through the things that they have done internally to build up their mind at a certain level. Okay? But I'm going to tell you now, from my order and from my dimension, being a chaos intelligence being does not build at 33 degrees. Okay? For one, we don't build in degrees, we build in frequency. Okay? And that frequency is in pure darkness. And when it comes to this particular derma urge, so you guys would see it, to just put it in terms where you can understand, we build in 1000 degrees frequency. That's 1000 hertz, by the way. But we build in 1000 hertz, not 33 degrees. This is not me trying to elevate or we this or we that. It's not that. Because we know where that comes from, and we know that them beings left our dimension. And they took our shit and started adding all types of shit to it and taking shit out. But they never, them beings in particular, never got the whole rundown on this chaos intelligence 1000 hertz building. They didn't get all the rundown because they wouldn't just go through the process to get the information, to get the knowledge. They got upset, they wanted free will, and left and bucked up and came to this dimension. And so we build at 1000 degrees of knowledge, or 1000 hertz of chaos intelligence. This is a frequency. This frequency is enlightenment of knowledge, but we have to build in the dark. So that gives rise to the randomness. And through that intelligence, you end up birthing creativity and genuine ideas. It's through intuitive building. Okay? And so you're building from the level of consciousness behind mind. That is what it means to be a 1000 degree builder. That is what the Nakti Queen Mothership is about. That is what the Ancient Order of Kali, which is now the Nakti Queen Mothership, is in this dimension. Okay? And so a chaos intelligence being does not build at 33 degrees. So please stop trying to put me in a 33 degrees, trying to say I'm a 33 degree master teacher. That shit, it sounds weird to me. And so we build at a frequency that is in pure darkness, because not only when we are here, because Jesus was a 1000 degree, 1000 hertz chaos intelligence being, same with Tahuti. We not only have this system against us, we are crucified by our own family and friends, we get abandoned, we get locked out of opportunities, we get blacklisted because we don't play ball with what the system is set up now. We get slandered because people are inherently, threatened. There could be jealousy. But particularly as melanated women with the chaos intelligence gene, this is what they're calling the Eve gene, by the way. This is the chaos intelligence gene. Black women are relegated in a system telling us that we ain't shit, telling us we at the bottom, when we are really everything. We are the creators of this shit. And so we are building in the dark, whereas the 33 degree knowledge, man, they build in the light, and they build in the derma urge, and they build the material realm. And the thing is, it's different from our order. They took
they tried to
what
blind us
we had already had and came down here, and and started switching, doing all types of other shit. And so, you know, we always known, okay, with this 1,000 hertz of chaos intelligence, of enlightenment. You guys want to put it at 963 hertz, whatever. It's the same thing. But this is 1,000 degrees of knowledge, not 33. Had the beings that taught you humans this information just went through the process, they would have realized that and figured it out at the end. But no, they jumped the gun. And so we're building in the dark, and that gives rise to our randomness. Because you random as hell, you in the dark. In the universe, you're in the dark. And that chaos intelligence, we have these elements. We have our melanin, we have the entropy, we have the dark energy, we have the consciousness, and we have the divine feminine and the intuitive aspect, the prime conscious, what you guys call subconscious, is prime conscious. And so we're building, and it's through that intelligence we end up with this genius level creation of universes and galaxies and solar systems. It's the conscious behind mind. And that's why I kept saying there's a level above it. This is the information that was not given out. That space, believe it or not, this dark energy is inherently intuitive. It's chaos. And so I create order out of chaos through birthing creativity in a variety of dimensions, various levels of consciousness, multitudes of archetypes, multitudes of egregores, multitudes of gods, multitudes of planets, multitudes of solar systems, of galaxies, of universes, etc. That is what order out of chaos means. That is the true definition of what chaos intelligence means. That's all it meant. This is the original teaching of the ancient order of Kali, which is now the Nakti Queen Mothership order on Earth dimension. This was the original teachings that the fallen angels were not privy to because they were not allowed to know if they were male. Yes, we did initiate men, but again, you know, how do I say this? And this is some deep shit, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Little did they know, had Lucifer hadn't jumped the gun with his little cronies and the other ones, they would have found out that angels could be promoted by the creator God to become a deity or a luminary or a tertiary god or even an adjutant. They did not know because we don't give out all of the information. This is a system of the divine feminine that is inherently intelligent, but we don't just, you know, we want, for one, some beings have free will, some don't. But at the end of the day, you want people to seek enlightenment and seek knowledge on their own. If they don't want to do that, if they want to do whatever they want, you can do that. But then you can't get mad when you see other people rise up in rank or rise up in promotion or rise up in consciousness and rise up in their abilities to create or to manifest. Or when they get promoted. Now, we don't do things based on doing favors. Like, we won't promote somebody, because you're most loyal, or because you do these favors or these acts. We're looking at the heart space. We're looking at consciousness. So our initiations into godhood are very secretive and random, and they are done in a very ledger compartmentalized way that changes every time we make or promote a god. Okay? Anytime we make an entity or promote a god, it changes, and it's very compartmentalized. And this is why the angels that did not understand what was going on, so you know, you call them fallen angels, whatever, but these beings that did not, these are interdimensional beings, by the way. You can look at them as archetypes, whatever, however you want to look at it. It doesn't matter. You can even look at it as a dimension for all I care. But I'm personalizing it for human mind to understand, and based on what you guys know from like Abrahamic religions and shit, right? And so humans, had Lucifer not had jumped the gun and riled up the 33% of the other angels, oh, God's not letting us, I want to become God, It didn't tell the whole story. Had he just chilled out, had all of them just chilled out and did and worked on themselves, you could have been promoted. You would have been promoted to a God. And so we had been doing that. It's a compartmentalized way that changes every time. Okay, and so when Tahuti and Yeshua and Kali Ma was promoted to godhood, their initiations all look different. They all look different because, for one, we're dealing with a high power that is primordial, that creates different types of species. So while they all might be descendants of the dragon riders, they're going to look different. As you see, Toadie got ahead of the Ibis. At one point, he had the baboon look. This is the archetype. This is the way he wanted to look. He ain't going to come back like that, today, like the head of an ibis or in the head of the baboon that he once had. He's going to come back looking different because this is high level chaos intelligence. This is like, shit, create the way you want to look. You had Yeshua, and so all of their promotions into godhood, their initiations are going to look different. Okay, and so at this particular time with the fallen angels, Lucifer was mad that he was not being promoted to a god, like how he saw, wondering what the hell's going on what's going on at the highest levels. What's going on? What's up with this? Why we can't be 1,000-degree builders and all this stuff and with the laws of electromagnetism and trying to reverse those laws. And that's why you see planet Earth look the way the fuck it looks at reversing everything. And so they stormed out because they wanted a free will dimension. But had he just waited, he probably would have got his chance instead of fucking up this dimension. And now the ancient ones, they had to come back here to clean it up. And guess what? And we'll break some of this down from the Bible. But any species can be promoted to godhood. That's why it says in the Bible, ye are all gods. You are all gods of the Most High. It says it twice in the Old Testament and the New Testament. It also says, greater work shall you do than me. Put in the work. What Yeshua says, that includes humans. Yes, it includes humans. And so this is what happened with obviously Siddhartha Gautama and Yeshua and so many others. This is what happened to me. And so I went through my initiation ceremony in July to the chief architect of the chaos intelligence realm, which is 1,000 hertz frequency or enlightenment. And so chief architect of the universe is a code. It is a code and it is a title in our order. It's always been a title, and it's designed in a way where the criteria changes at REM based on the circumstances of where the dimension is at, or what's going on in the universe at that particular time. So it's not going to look the same. The initiation ceremonies all look different. They usually come at they come for different reasons, and so I'll talk about mine. But and again, we're doing some channeling, so I'm a mystic. I am a mystic more so than I am a scholar, believe it or not. I am. This is a lifestyle for me. I'm way more of a mystic. You guys know that I produce scholarship as well. I am a scholar. No one can take that away from me. But as far as like where I more in my comfortable space, it is me and being my shamanistic mystic self, my chaos intelligence being that I am. That's more so where I'm comfortable at. And so as far as like this dimension, these archetypes down here, they are looking to be, some of them are looking to be promoted. So for one, you have Ogun. Ogun is looking for promotion to more of our dimension, because there are levels to godhood and dimension. So Ogun is very earth-based. He's a very earth-based deity, very powerful deity. And that is not a bad thing, that he's more earth-based. It's just not. But it's a little bit different because the level is different because they work on the way to activate these gods, or to invoke say like an Ogun or say some of these entities. It may be through offering, it may be through sacrifice, it may be through animal sacrifice, or it could be through you have to give them something in order for as very transactional. And so and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, right? But again, there are levels to this. And so we have Precious Ogun, and oh man, he's very special to me. But we have Precious Ogun, looking for, doing the work on himself, working on himself, and wanting to be promoted more into like more of the interstellar, like less earth-based, less transactional-based deity. Less, because you have luminary deities, you have territory deities, and so there are levels to it. It just is. And so he's one that is looking to be promoted in our order, which is of the divine feminine. Because Ogun is not really into the divine feminine stuff. I mean, like, he's trying. It's like, I'm getting there. Like, okay, I'm trying to understand all this shit about the divine feminine, because he is very, very, very into like the masculine. And he has visited me, like he visited me 3 times in one night, and we've had conversations and stuff, and I'm like, man, I mean, you are very, 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 you know, for me, domineering. For my personality, like I see his energy from his interaction with me the first time he even rolled up on me. I'm like, you are very, very domineering to me. Like, I'm so like passive, like compared to that energy. Like, and so I'm not used to that, you know, and it's just not like, it's just a being that's so masculine that's just not in tune with. You just don't get a feminine bone when you think about. Let's be real, like you just do not get nothing feminine out of that, or you know, like a being that's in tune with their feminine, like Yeshua, you know, or even Tahuti, but and I mean no disrespect at all. And so he's like, okay, I'm learning here. And so that's an interesting story to get out there. You know, I wanted to tell you that, guys. That Ogun came to me 3 times in one night, and it was like, girl, you gotta wake up. Because at this time, I was still like very much in my lower self and more of like human based, and he was really trying to get me to see myself. And at the time, like 2 years ago, I didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about. I was looking like a deer in headlights. Like, what are you talking about? And he kept trying to tell me, like, honey, like, you know. And well, ever since then, we have been cool, you know. You know, the highest level of our dimension was and always will be ruled by the divine feminine, the primordial mother, the chaos intelligence. And so while you have beings on this dimension that have a problem with that, not all, you know, it's just something that it just is. Okay, and so the 33% of those fallen angels that left our dimensions, they took our teachings because they were in our order. They just weren't at the highest level. That's it. They just weren't at the highest level. And they were mad they weren't getting promoted to godhood fast enough, because it comes with a certain incentive. It's like an incentive package, you know. There are guys that can create universes. There are guys that create planets. There are guys that can create dimensions of heaven, multiple dimensions. You got Abraxas, he got 365 of them. You got some of the Buddhas that create. Oh man, some of these Buddhas, you see the things they do. Some of these ascended masters, they got whole ass planets of schools, you know, where you come and you go get educated by some of these ascended masters. You got some that create planets that are similar to Earth. You got some that can create universes that can destroy them. You got adjutants that have we have military galactic intelligence agencies throughout various universes that are headed by certain gods. You have all types of shit, you know, and so there's different levels of your incentive package that you would get, and this is all based on consciousness. It's it's very simple. You raise your fucking vibration. It's very simple, and so you know, but that requires, you know, seeking out that knowledge. It may not happen in a year or 2 or 3 or 10 years or even certain lifetimes, you know, if you can even, you know, put a time paradigm on it, right? If you can even look at it in time. But you do have, you know, elements of duality and contrast and free will in some of these universes and some of these dimensions, and in some you don't. And some you don't. And so that is where it's at. And in some of the beings, they don't necessarily agree with some of the plans and the missions of certain planets. Like with planet Earth, you know, you were always giving like drop feed content. Like look when you take a course, right, online, and they give you the information in drop feed. Like a module won't open up until you get through one module and you complete it, and then the next module opens up. That's kind of what we had here on planet Earth. And when for you guys already, because this was already a creation, and so when the fallen angels come down here to free will dimension, they said we ain't doing course drip. We ain't doing the drip content. We giving them everything, and we adding shit to it, and we gonna hide the shit that we want to hide, so we can always have power over these motherfuckers. And so that's what happened to planet Earth. But it was never to keep you away from knowledge of self and growing in consciousness and growing into godhood. It was you were always supposed to know certain things. You were always supposed to know very high level information. And what happened now is the whole simulation got usurped, by the way. You was always supposed to be exposed to intergalactic mentalism. That wasn't a big deal. You're always supposed to have knowledge of the laws of electromagnetism, the laws of the divine feminine. There were some things that we weren't there to give yet, like in terms of like, oh, how changing the laws of the universe, changing the laws of physics at will, like those type of things we weren't giving out yet. But it was always supposed to know that you were interdimensional being, that you were came from a transcendent space to experience duality and contrast, as in a physical state of density. You were always supposed to understand like the high level notions of sexuality and expression of sexuality for pleasure, for creation, and manifestation. What we really wanted here was for humans to understand the power of consciousness, and to understand how to create at will, and how to understand how to create, take their energy and to create physical matter from the energy, from a transducer part of your brain, from your brain horns. And so this is what we had here, on this dimension. Now, in terms of contrast, yes, that was always a thing. You were to experience contrast and go through the stages of the drip content of the education in terms of understanding what heartbreak is, and betrayal, what jealousy looks, how to work on your ego, how to work on yourself, how to work on your inner man, how to master your mind, master your emotions, master your body, and for you to be the master of yourself, self-mastery, right? So this was always important to us. And so what happened, the beings that came here to rule over you guys, to be honest, they did not do the drip content feed. They added stuff, they took stuff, they hid stuff from you, so that they can pretty much always have that power and control. And so that you pretty much all kind of trapped down here too, because you guys can get out. So they started trapping people down here too, so they can feed off the energy. Like started using you guys as a battery as well. And so again, the teachings that they took, and they botched them and created their own version, and this is why they're hung up at this 33 degrees. And they mixed it with the order out of chaos teachings from my order, but they had no clue what it meant, because they weren't at that level yet. And so they are down here purposely like creating chaos. So like what you see now they do is they create all this chaos, like all of this horrific, ridiculous low governing force, and then they bring order out of it for control and power, because they want to mimic the highest level of my order that is only reserved for women. And so that 1000 hertz frequency of building in chaos intelligence is what chaos, order out of chaos means.